The small purchases are often the ones that can skew the budget, if unchecked. Maximize your reimbursements and make sure everything you've spent is covered by the following 3 simple steps. By 3 steps, I think I mean 4. Join us as we examine how to make small purchases with grant funds. In our FEMA Quest game, this corresponds to Little Money Loop. My name is Christina Moore. I'm a member of a disaster relief grant management team that built Tempest Gems to help others through this process. We have responded to natural disasters since 2012 as experts in grant management best practices using grant management software. We're here to help you rebuild better. We are providing grant management best practices so that you and your team will learn how to manage FEMA grant accounting basics. If you appreciate this presentation, please share it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell. What is a small purchase? A small purchase involves procurement for a product or service that fits between micro and large. Not that helpful, was that? Sorry, let's start over. You either have or don't have a procurement policy. The United States federal government provides a definition of small. It falls below the simplified acquisition threshold and above $3,000, micro. Under normal circumstances, that value is $250,000. I looked up Arizona's policy, and I didn't see a policy definition there for small. I am not an expert and only have ever been a tourist in that great state. Their policy states that in the event of federal funding, their policy guidelines revert to the federal. I went and looked up Virginia's policy. They did offer a definition. It's basically $100,000. Clearly, if you're in Virginia, read their policy. I'm using this as an example. The policy is Section 2.2-4303, Methods of Procurement G.1. My little town has a threshold at $10,000. The standard guidance for small purchase is that you document that you have done some shopping. You found 3 or 4 or more competitive prices. You then got maybe 3 email quotes, looked up online, that sort of thing. You need to confirm that your price is reasonable. Almost all of us know the basics of shopping and price comparison. The difference with small purchases with grant funds is the documentation. First, write a little memorandum for record or an email to your boss or pass a motion that states your purchase is small because it is below this threshold and above that one. Second, do your price comparison and shopping, but add the steps of printing the prices you see to a PDF document. Or better yet, print that paper, sign it, and date it. You don't have to pick the cheapest. Identify the precise product or service you need. You can't run tissue paper through your printer. You may need good quality archival, acid-free paper. Price compare that. Gather your competitive research, print it to a PDF, and save it. Third, run the name of the vendor through sam.gov. Print that to PDF, that page proving that the vendor is not debarred by the federal government. If your state has such a tool, use that as well. 4. Issue the purchase order or execute the purchase as you normally would. This time, scan the purchase order, invoice, delivery receipt to a PDF. Get a copy of the canceled check, ACH payment, or credit card statement that proves it was paid. FEMA Grant Accounting Basics. We want to get reimbursed for that purchase. Together, we are studying how to manage disaster relief grants. If you don't have Tempest Gems, you'll need a manual method for tracking these expenses. In Tempest Gems, it's easy. Let's recap. You have the following documents scanned and ready to go: justification for purchase method, price comparison, debar check, and invoice with proof of payment. First, we'll create a new vendor. There is a map pin icon on the blue menu to the left, near your applicant's name. Open vendor. You really don't need training on the how, but I do want to touch on some important items. In Tempest Gems, green buttons add. We'll add a vendor called Acme Insurance. Please note that we ask you, as a reminder, to do a debar check. And if so, when? These questions are to help you. FEMA does not provide a lower threshold on debarment checks. Just a hint. FEMA says do it, so why not? Takes a second. Now, upload the debarment check with the vendor. Done once, saved. Good for you. Don't miss the next episode. I'll tell you exactly how to avoid the #1 failure that causes DHS Office of Inspector General to recommend grant clawback. Keep your hard-won grant funds working in your community. Second step, Because we're using grant management software, we do the data entry. This is just like popular accounting systems: vendor, invoice number, description, date, that sort of thing. But because Tempest Gems is not an accounting system, you'll need to tell it and your state and FEMA that the invoice is paid. Only paid invoices are eligible for reimbursement. Mark it as paid, provide the paid date, the check number, EFT, ACH number, whatever that is. Third step, you upload the supporting documentation. You can upload one or as many as you want. You'll want to upload the invoice and proof of payment at a minimum. The bonus points go for the competitive research you did, and the super bonus point for that silly memo stating why this is a small purchase. You tick those boxes, you do accurate data entry, and upload those documents, and you are golden. We are providing you a Lil Money Hints and Hacks Guide. This serves as a reminder to avoid the pitfalls along the quest. Click the links below to download this guide. When you make small purchases with grant funds, you can circle around and around on the little money loop, making small purchases and reporting them. There are a couple of closing warnings. Warning number 1, the prevailing rule for FEMA assistance is always necessary and reasonable. Keep that in mind. Warning number 2, the federal government and most states frown on using small purchase process if your annual aggregated expense with that vendor or product exceeds the threshold. That sounds like you dodged some rules. Just be aware. And on a happy note, a lot of online vendors for office supplies have been pre-competed for government pricing. If you use those vendors, you just simplified things a lot. No debar check, no competitive steps. FEMA assistance comes with strings. Small purchases fall below the competitive procurement threshold. The simplified procurement process suggests that you note why you are using a small purchase process, a test to see if you know the threshold and rules. Second, a bit of price shopping that you keep as PDFs. Third, do a debar check at sam.gov. Execute your purchase, then put all of that data and documents into Tempest Gems, readying you for the next reimbursement, moving you closer to closeout. Did you find this helpful? Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments below. Give a thumbs up if you like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of upcoming episodes. There's a link for our guides below. Please share these materials with colleagues, post about us and our efforts on your favorite social media platform, and don't forget to grab the Small Purchase Hints and Hacks Guide to help you get started with FEMA Quest.